Here we are in my next interview with Jeff Zink, who ran for Congress. He's got a story to tell on why he is so passionate about freedom and America. Jeff, thank you so much for being on there. I really appreciate it.
Hey, thank you so much for having me on. You know, the thing is that we've had a government that's weaponized itself against the political party. I have come out blatantly and stated at the front of this that you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
Right now, you're guilty until proven Democrat. And the case in point is the tale of two people, one kid that broke out 5 windows on the Congressional building itself was the point of the spear that we took pictures of, my son and I. And he got 4 months incarceration, 3 years probation, and $2,921 restitution. You'd think that would be, you know, that's fair, right? Now, for my son, who was accused, originally accused with a no-knock warrant, they said that he entered into the Capitol, fought with Capitol Police, and was directly responsible for killing Brian Sicknick. Now, if you remember, he was the Capitol Police officer that they said somebody took a fire extinguisher and hit him over the head with.
Right.
Michael D. Brown, the federal agent, the corrupt federal agent, lied, which now has come out because Liz Cheney and the J6 committee, along with Michael D. Brown, we have found out that they were feeding false information. Every bit of that was false. My son never went into the Capitol, never fought with a single Capitol Police officer. In fact, we have evidence to the contrary that he was assisting Capitol Police. And then on top of that, we find out that Brian Sicknick dies of an aneurysm the next day with no head trauma or anything else. Yet that's what they used as a no-knock warrant for my son. What he eventually got charged with was the 1512C2, which is the interruption of a Congressional Senate hearing, which was later overturned by the Supreme Court. But what he was also convicted of at that time were 2 misdemeanors, which were glorified parking tickets. For those parking tickets, they wanted 2 years incarceration, 5 years probation on my son. The judge, because we had proven that they had multiple Brady violations, they had to admit that they destroyed all of the pictures and video for my son, so he couldn't put on a defense. The judge made this statement in court. There's 2 statements that he made in court there, which is, the first one was, Ryan's guilty of a crime, we just have to have the trial. That shows bias.
Right, exactly.
Okay. The second one, which is so blatant that he did, is he dismissed, when we asked to dismiss all charges when we found out that he didn't enter the Capitol, he didn't fight with Capitol Police, he didn't kill Brian Sicknick, and those were the original charges. That's when they bait and switched, and he said, well, Ryan's guilty of a crime, we just have to have that trial.
And then there was another statement that the judge made that you just recently told me that showed his guilt even more. Not your son's guilt. The other statement you made was a little while ago.
Right. Which one did I?
Well, when you talk about your election.
Oh,
when
yes.
you ran for Congress.
So one of the things is that so when they went back to sentencing and stuff, what happened was that the judge said that because my son was not apologetic for what he did at J6, well, he didn't do anything. So what was he apologizing for? But for that, he got another month, and so he got sent.
So the judge randomly said, you did not apologize, so I'm sentencing you to another month.
Correct.
So without due trial, and it's unconstitutional.
Correct. And the other thing, too, is now he's on probation for a year, and he has to pay $500 restitution. The court documents say he has to go to prison, and or you can do probation and everything else. He chose to send him, the probational officer, and everybody is enforcing him. And what's really sad is that they're not allowing him to work because he can't travel. He works in the oil field, and they won't allow him to travel to do his job, so he can't get a job. So the problem now is that they're asking him to pay this restitution of $500. Well, he doesn't have it, and if he doesn't pay it, they're going to send him back to prison.
Is this why you ran for Congress?
This is one of the reasons why I ran for Congress, and now, one of the things is that I'm on the short list, or the final list for Robert Kennedy's MAHA group of being the Assistant Secretary of Health. One of the things that we want to do is we want to bring health back to health care. Kind of a novel idea, right? We want
exactly.
to be.
I love it.
What's the number one disease that captures every person in the world? Anybody that's doing it. I got a 5-month-old granddaughter. She has the disease. You have the disease. I have the disease. It's called aging.
Ah, that's a horrible disease.
Okay, so everybody has it. So one of the things is that we want to address these types of things where aging process that also has carcinoma or cancer. We have pulmonary issues, emphysema, different things. So one of the things is that with my sports medicine background, I'm going to be able to utilize and think outside the box in order to help people do what they're supposed to do, which is let's be healthy. Now, here's the thing. We live in America, and people can buy Cheetos. Here's where we're going to step in and say, all of those dyes that we know cause carcinoma and has all this other stuff, they're going to be banned. So we're going to ban those. We don't allow them to be a part of it. And so these are some of the things that we want to do. You can still buy your Cheetos, but it's going to be healthy. We're not going to use the seeds and everything else. We're going to ban those substances that cause a lot of the obesity. If you take pictures in the 70s of mass crowd, like this right here, if we look right here,
nobody fat.
There's nobody that is obese. You take a picture right now and you look at it and you're going, oh my gosh, there's obesity. You can pick it off. We didn't have that, and a lot of it has to do with our diet and way
our diet.
So one of the things that we can do is, and how we're going to revolutionize our medicine, is we're going to cut out the PBMs. All right, so the pharmaceutical broker managers that broker the pharmaceuticals with all the drugs from the pharmaceutical companies to the insurance companies that then come to you, right? So let's say that if you have a cancer and your treatment is $25,000 a month, all right? Well, we can go to that physician and we can say, hey, look, if you'll utilize our technology and what we're doing and everything else, we'll be able to offer the same type of generic drug to that individual for $8,000. That's a $21,000 savings.
Right.
Now, here's how really technology and where we're going. We have the technology that not only can we take your blood, we can do all of the pre-cancer screening that takes place, but the cancer cell, we can go in and take a biopsy of it. We can look at the DNA. We can see if it is drug resistant, and if it is, then we cut those drugs out. We don't utilize those drugs. So you don't lose your hair, your eyebrows, and all of this.
So what you're getting into a little bit more of is what I've been talking about on the show a lot of, which is medical freedom.
Exactly.
You're talking about being able to do things to protect not only people and citizens here in America, but restore their medical freedom is what you're talking about.
Absolutely. And so here's the biggest difference. Now we can use what is called pharmaceutical compounding, which means that we only use enough of the drug that's tailored specifically for you, and in low doses, you don't lose your hair, you don't lose your eyes, you don't feel sick, you don't have all the nausea and everything else that goes on, and it's better, and we know that it works because we've cured cancer already. We have a lady that was stage 4 colon cancer, all right, was told to go to hospice and prepare to die. This was 26 years ago, all right? Went in, she was treated, and the company was Envita, And so you can always look it up in Vita and here in Scottsdale, Arizona. And so when you look at it, then what happened is that 26 years later, she's cancer-free, she's happy. What a stark difference. They were telling her to go home and die, and the new treatment that we've been perfecting for 26 years now, we're so much better now than we were then.
Are you in the medical industry?
I am. I was in sports medicine for 38 years and took care of professional athletes all over the country. Was very fortunate to be a part of a lot of the football teams and basketball teams and stuff in the country, and utilizing those professional athletes and helping them get bigger, faster, and stronger. Well, why can't we be bigger, faster, stronger, and less aging in the general population? And we do it through our diet, we do it through our drugs, we do it through, and we give them. Because if you come to a exam room, there's enough room for you and I, but not the federal government and all the bureaucracy, all the insurance companies, all these other people and stuff.
Their presence is there only in their force of their will to be able, the force of their will to be able to work against us.
Yeah.
That's what it
Absolutely.
is. So, Jeff, another quick question for you. Where do you think we're losing freedom in America?
Well, we lost it on 9/11. Patriot Act was one of the first major issues where our federal government took our rights away, and all of our autonomy rights. What we've got to do is we've got to get rid of that. But more importantly, DOGE is going to be our real big hammer, because we can do something like get rid of Department of Education. Now remember, when I was a kid, Department of Education didn't exist. And the problem that all of these left-leaning lunatics and everything, what they did is that they didn't allow us to die, because we're the highest educated people. Remember, I had civics, I had government.
That's right.
I had economics. I had all of these.
Understanding how government's supposed to work.
And exactly. So I have an understanding of what's taking place. So I'm trained there because I got a high school education that was appropriate. Department of Education comes in and they want to teach DEI, they want to teach CRT and all this other stuff. We need critical thinking skills, not critical race theory. You know, and all of these people argue with me, and I sit and I go, no, we need to take care of our children. They don't need to be transgender. They don't need to be that. Right. God does not make mistakes. You're born a male, you're born a female, and so we're not changing. And the other thing too is we've got to get back to our roots, which means that we have to bring this nation back to the foot of the cross. If we introduce them to Jesus Christ, and we say that we have somebody,
the American flag cross on your lapel now.
That's exactly right. And then we also have the American flag and Israel flag, because I believe that those that bless Israel will be blessed. Those that curse Israel will be cursed. I have been living a nightmare for 4 years because this administration has done everything against Israel. That's a dangerous place to put America, and we almost lost our country over it. You know, and the thing is that if people think that this fight is not over, it's just beginning. They gave us Trump, but they stole down ballot elected officials like Carrie Lake, you know, like myself, that should be in there. Well, those people have been taken away. So all of this is integrated together. But the thing is that if we introduce somebody who has mental illness, which being a Democrat, now is becoming a mental illness, we introduce them to Jesus Christ, he changes the heart from the inside. And if you want to change that's how it
heals them of their depression instead of those anxiety medicines.
Exactly. You know, so it really is, it's fundamental things that we go back to our founding fathers. We bring back the autonomy and the freedoms of our individual, and we restore them so that people understand that God gives us our freedoms, not government.
I've always said on my show, God gave us our freedoms. Our founding fathers locked them into the Constitution to protect them within our government, or from our government rather. But now we're finding that the government has found ways to circumvent the Constitution and therefore circumventing God's will at the same time.
Absolutely.
Jeff, thank you so much. I appreciate
I really
you.
appreciate it. Thank
You're
you.
amazing. I'm going to keep you posted on how future races may go.
I will.
But also, I want everybody else to please share the video, because not only the information in this video from Jeff can help you, but it can help other people. Thank you so much, and tune in for the next show.